Welcome back. In our last lesson, we started learning about some of the methods that are available on the array data type. And in this lesson, we're going to continue where we left off. So to get started, if you go into your project folder, if you go into the 18b-array methods 2 folder, and the start subfolder, open up main.js. Then in your browser, if you can go ahead and open up index.html, you should see array methods on the page. So next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the splice method. So the splice method can also be used to add items to your array. However, it's a little bit unique because we can specify where we want these items added at in our array, and we can also specify how many items we want to be removed from our array. So to see this in action, what we'll do is we'll do our array 1, and we'll go ahead and call splice. And then we can specify where we want our items added. So I'm going to say the first index. And then the next argument is the number of items we want to remove. So I'm going to go ahead and do 0 because we don't want to remove any from our array at this time. And then next we specify the items that we want to be added to our array. So this can be as many elements as we would like it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and do the number 4, the number 5, and the number 6. And then what we'll do is let's go ahead and console log our array. So we save and refresh. You'll see that at the first index, we start inserting our 3 new values, and then our existing values have been shifted to the end of our array. So as I mentioned, we can also use this method to delete elements. So what we can do is let's go ahead and copy this here. And what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and remove 2 elements. And let's go ahead and add the values 7 and 8 at position 2. And let's go ahead and console log our array, and we can see what happens here. So if we go ahead and save and refresh, so you'll see we start at the second position of our array. So then we have our new items, so 7 and 8. And then, because we specify that 2 items should be removed, so our next 2 items in our array were removed, so the numbers 4 and 5, and the remaining items were shifted down to replace the positions that were removed. So one thing to note is the splice method will go ahead and return the items that were deleted from the array. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new variable. So I'm going to do let items equal array splice, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and console log items. So we'll copy this, place that here, and we'll do items, and we'll also do that down here. And we'll go ahead and do items equals array1 splice again. So let's go ahead and save and refresh, and we'll go ahead and see what's returned. So in our first example, because we didn't remove any elements, we get an empty array back. And in the second example, because we did remove 2 items, we get the 4 and 5 that were deleted in an array. So the next method we're taking a look at is concat, and this method is pretty cool because what it does is it will return a new array that is made up of all the elements from multiple smaller arrays. So it combines them together, concatenates them. So to see this in action, what we're going to do is I'm going to do const myArray, and I'm going to go ahead and set it equal to array1, and I'm going to do concat. And then we can specify the arrays that we want to concatenate onto this array 1. So I'm going to go ahead and do array 2. And I'm also going to go ahead and do our items array. And then I'm going to go ahead and console.log my array. So if we save and refresh our page, we can see our results. So you'll see we have a brand new array that has 10 elements. And it has all the elements from our first array, our second array, and then our items array. So what concatenate does is by calling this method on an existing array, that array will be the first elements in your array, and then all of the arrays that are added inside as arguments will be added as new elements to that array. And all those elements will be added to the new array in that order. So you'll see here, if I go ahead and console log array 1, we should see that this original array has not been modified and has those original values still. Basically, we just copy those values and insert them into a brand new array. So finally, the last method I want to take a look at is slice. So the slice method is used to slice out a piece of your array into a new array. So similar to concat, it will return a new array, and your original array will not be modified. So to see this in action, what I'm going to do is do my array 2. I'm going to go ahead and do array1 dot slice, And then this method can take two arguments. The first one is the starting position of where we want to start our cut, and the second one is the ending position of where we're going to stop our cut. So I'm going to go ahead and specify index 2. I'm going to go ahead and specify position 2, and I'm going to say go ahead and do position 5. So then we'll go ahead and do a console log. I'm going to do myArray2, and I'm also going to go ahead and do console.log array1 so we can see the results. So if we save and refresh our page, you'll see that we get a brand new array. And because we specified index 2, we go to index 2 in our array, so 0, 1, 2. So we start there, and then we cut out the pieces of our array until we get to our ending position. And then so because we specified an ending position, how it works is it starts at our initial position, and then we'll cut out it'll cut out items up to, but not including that end argument. So that's important to know. So that's why when we specified 5, even though this is 2, we have 3, 4, and we cut up to 5, but we leave 5 in our array here. So that's why we only cut out these values. Another thing to know is if you don't specify an ending argument, then everything after that initial index will be added to your array. So if I do const myArray3, I'm going to go ahead and do array1 dot slice, and we'll go ahead and do the third element. And then what we'll do is we'll copy these 2 lines here, and we'll go ahead and change this to myArray3. Let's go ahead and save and refresh. And so you'll see because we specified that third index, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we cut out that element and everything following it, so 6, 2, and 3.